Coach, going into this week, after wrapping up your non-league schedule last week with 3 ball games, are you still trying to put square pegs in round holes, or round pegs in square holes? Or?
Yeah, you know, we still have 2 games, non-league games, late in our schedule, and we still have not played enough games to get us where we really need to get. We're still looking for combinations, and we're still looking for improvement with this basketball team, and so we still have a long way to go. And so into this first weekend of WAC play, we still don't have all the answers.
And I guess is this safe to say the rule of thumb in the WAC is you got to win your home games and hope to steal 1 or 2 on the road somewhere?
Well, the basic format is that if you can win all your home games, go undefeated at home, split on the road, and defeat your road partner, the one that you travel with, you'll win the Western Athletic Conference outright. And so, you know, that would put you in there, you know, somewhere around 12-4, and that would win this conference. I really think that probably somewhere around 10-6, 11-5 can easily tie for the conference title because of the balance from top to bottom this year.
I was going to say, yeah, it seems to me the WAC does not have the real superpower team this year.
Well,
There's a little more compression, or maybe I'm wrong.
You know, it's always hard to say, but it looks like UTEP is looming to be a tremendous power in the conference. They're 11-1. They're playing extremely well. Their defensive field goal percentage is down there around 37% per ball game, or maybe a little bit lower. They're playing great defense. They have a lot of athletes. And so I think UTEP, just historically, and with the early indications, is going to be the team to beat in this conference.
Now, the last couple of years, the WAC has sent 3 teams to the NCAA tournament. Would be your guess that that would not take place this year, or is it too early to tell?
It's too early to tell, but I think that you've got UTEP and New Mexico that are just really outstanding basketball teams, you know, emerging, developing teams this year within the league. I obviously think that Utah, Colorado State, you know, they have a chance, and Hawaii has really shown improvement. They're playing very, very well. So it's going to be a fun and interesting league.
In other words, what he's trying to say is that every game is going to be a dandy in the WAC this year, including tonight's game for San Diego State against the Air Force Falcons at the Sports Arena, and hope to see you out there at the arena. But we got a lot more coming up on the Jim Brandenburg Show. We'll get to that right after these messages. In preparation for this, the start of the Western Athletic Conference season for 1989, the Aztecs had kind of an emotional roller coaster week, as you'll recall, a week ago. All home games at the Sports Arena, all spaced 2 days apart. St. Francis of New York, North Carolina, and then Vermont last Saturday night. Now, Coach, what, if anything, does that do your players, the emotional roller coaster of the up and down type games?
Well, we got very high emotionally for the North Carolina game, and when you get that high emotionally, then what's going to happen is you're going to, you know, have a letdown emotionally and physically, and that's what happened in the Vermont game. You know, and everybody knew it. I knew it was coming. I just didn't know how much, and we really did bottom out. It did not play particularly well or with a great deal of enthusiasm against Vermont, but we had a couple of guys that really came through for us. Tony Ross and Sean Bell had 2 outstanding games, and so when you have some guys that really do, you know, struggle and do not have good games, you have to have someone that's going to come along and pick up the team. And so Sean Bell and Tony Ross, they did that in this ball game.
Now, cynics may say, well, those players, they should be up for every game. Who the heck do they think they are? But yet, they are somewhat human, I would assume, because 13,000 people for a highly ranked team, North Carolina, and then 2,000 people for an unranked team, Vermont. These guys don't go in with blinders.
Well, what happens, this is just very simple physiology. When you really get emotionally high for one basketball game or any kind of athletic contest, the chances are when you get that high that you can't maintain that high level of emotional stability, and so it's going to ebb. And so when it ebbs, if it gets too low, then you're really, you know, past the danger mark, and you have a chance to get upset. And so we were at the point where we had a chance to get upset by Vermont because we just had about 3 starters that just did not have good games. But fortunately, Tony Ross came in. Sean Bell had his game, you know, season high game scoring-wise, and had a good rebounding game. and Brian Williams played a fairly consistent game as well.
All right, let's take a look at some of the action in that ball game, which I'm sure a lot of people did not see. Coach, describe what we're seeing here against Vermont.
Well, Vermont has got a big guy. He's got a big guy inside, and you know, the NBA people are looking at him, and you see him 25 in there on Mitch McMullen right now, and so they start out in the zone, and they put two guys on Mitch McMullen, and so we're going to see that kind of defense all the time. McMullen is proved to be quite a force inside, and so what they're going to do is to take care of the mismatch inside with the size and strength of McMullen. They're going to gain a numerical advantage with putting two people on him. So they're going to start playing, we're going to start seeing a lot of zones where they just put two guys on Mitch McMullen. And it forced us to shoot the ball on the perimeter. It forced us to fast break and do some other things. And eventually, the cheap baskets on the fast break, just like the pass to Sean Bell there, is what we have to win this game. An acrobatic shot by Michael Best. But there's the big guy shooting over McMullen. And we've got to have a bunch of that perimeter shooting. There's Tony Ross with one of his three-pointers. Tony had a very good game shooting from the three-point line. And as long as we pushed the ball against Vermont, we were in good shape. But we were having trouble in the half-court game.
I see what you mean there, shooting the perimeter from the outside.
And so you know, there they get a score. Not very good defense on our behalf. But once again, if they give Tony the open shot on the perimeter, we've got a good chance to score. And once again, our margin of victory was easily on the fast break. You know, Mitch has been doing a good job on the boards in recent games. And Brian Williams, you know, he's hard to stop once he gets going in the open court. Another three-pointer by Tony Ross. And they had a couple of pretty good three-point shooters themselves. You know, we have to give Vermont credit. They played very well in this ball game.
So the final score of that game was San Diego State 83 and University of Vermont 76. So the Aztecs close out December and 1988 with a record of 6-4 heading into WAC play this week. And State junior guard Tony Ross. He's from Portland, Oregon. Tony, I think as most people know, the long-range bomber with those three-pointers. Tony, a starter, leading scorer for the Aztecs the last 2 years. Now this year, not starting, coming off the bench. His role has been reduced considerably. And so we recently talked to Tony and asked him about the adjustment from a guy playing almost 40 minutes a night to a heck of a lot less minutes.
It's a tough adjustment, but it's something that I got to deal with. You know, Coach Brandenburg, he's been helping me. He's been helping me, you know, in a lot of ways. And, you know, my defense, my ball handling has to pick up. And I'm just trying to roll with the punches right now. You know, I think I've always been a fair shooter. You know, I'm not going to say I'm a great shooter. I'm just a decent shooter, but, you know, I try to work for my shots, and if I'm open at that range, I'm definitely going to take it.
You have a good rotation on the ball. Did somebody teach you when you were a kid how to shoot, or just something you developed on your own?
Well, you know, my grade school coach has taught me a lot. My high school coach taught me a lot. I've been playing basketball since I was about 6 or 7 years old, so I've been playing with older guys, and they, you know, just playing in the neighborhood, going up to the parks and stuff, playing like 4 or 5 hours a day, you can learn a lot. Well,
By Frazee Paint and Wall Coverings, makers of majestic velvet flat wall finish and the entire family of Frazee quality products. And by the Douglas Allred Company, builders of a better quality of life.